versus God's Warriors!
Here we go. Benja is in for God's Warriors, going in with the Dragon Duke charge with the Electro Fangs ability that has become oh so popular amongst these pros ever since it was introduced. Very cool to see the new opener and how versatile it is. And look at this Dragon Duke. Oh, he's taking so much damage early though, Carbon, as the Spirit Fox is saving him by going invisible.
But he did remove that Clan Castle, so no more troops would come out of there. But the Duke goes down right in the core. Air Skellies did pop, so they're sitting there as he's going to then come in with Dragon Riders. One of the strongest, if not almost the strongest meta in the game at the moment. As we're going to see the regular Yeti off to the far right, sniping that Archer Tower. Maybe drop some Raccoons back end to sneak in and try to grab that air defense. But either way, he is now moving in with the Dragon Riders to the far left with that Minion Prince as well.
Minion Prince, Grand Warden working together. It is a staple in the Town Hall 18 air meta. Royal Champion from the east side of the base, shaping up some of the pathing for these Dragon Riders, as well as eliminating a handful of key defenses with her Rocket Spear equipment. We do have the Revive spell that can be used for the Dragon Duke later. We have an Overgrowth spell to help shape the pathing, and of course the Dark Orb from the Minion Prince plays a big role in slowing down some of those defenses.
Oh, I really like the Raccoons that came to the far left, which triggered the Rage, and then paired in the Overgrowth after the Rage was triggered. But will he be able to continue through the backside? He has to use this Invis, but there is still a Hero Revive. That his Minion Prince is doing work onto the back end there, but the air defense remains, and even the King is sitting there, which can tank a bunch of damage. But a lot of these troops, they're all disappeared, and finally now brings back that Minion Prince, not the Minion Prince, the Dragon Duke, but it finds a Seeking Air Mine right off the bat, and it's going down so quickly.
Just unfortunate. His main push with the Dragon Riders just fell short. They got eliminated so very quickly as they made their way into the core of the base. The Dragon Duke not able to do too much after Revive unless you have extra totem spells or free spells to help assist him, but none were left. The one lonely Archer here trying to help pick up the percent, but it looks like we're just going to start this war off with a low 70-something% Carbon.
Yeah, the 2-star here to start off this match. The Archer will not be able to get this as the Builder is going to slowly repair this Dark Spell Factory. But 71%, this is in the lower side to start off a match, especially against a team like Zeus, who's been putting up 70% 3-star hit rates. Not 70% in their attacks, 70% of the time they are tripling their attacks, and you have to be trying to... Anything can happen, so... A nice try there from Benja. Only a 71% 2-star. Two teams home. They worked so hard to get here, but you can just be eliminated just like that. As now Yada is bringing out his Super Bowlers. And we're going to charge this Queen, it looks like, right into the Monolith, paired in with the Monolith Arrow. And that Giant with that Queen. Can she get the Monolith? It should be, hopefully, as long as it keeps this Queen protected, it should be able to secure that, which will also set up the funneling.
The Monolith Arrow is such a cool addition to the game. It makes it to where Queen Charge as an opener feels very realistic and somewhat common again amongst these pros. The Queen able to just get in there with the help of the Angry Jelly. She's targeting defenses only. Take out the Monolith, make a tiny little funnel for pathing, and then just recall her out of there and get ready to start the Super Bowler Smash. And this tends to be a quicker opener than previous openers we've seen for Super Bowler strategies in the past, such as the Warden Walk.
Yeah, absolutely, because of all that extra damage coming in with that Queen. But now there goes the Ice Golem trying to get out in front, finding a couple Spring Traps and a Giant Bomb. But the healers hopefully can heal these Super Bowlers back up. Moving into that Logger, the Town Hall poisons up the Clan Castle, but also as the King and Duke working together. And that is a typical thing when you come in with Super Bowlers, as you pair in the Duke and the King off to the edge to help continue the funnel for the Super Bowlers into the core.
Spirit Fox going invisible time and time again for the Dragon Duke, allowing all these defenses to retarget onto the Barbarian King. The Dragon Duke gets so much value. The Warden ability popped in the core. It looks like that Eternal Tome, Heroic Torch combo that is becoming really, really popular amongst these pros allows the bowlers a few seconds of invincibility, gets them over some of these walls, although he's able to destroy some of these walls with the raged up bowler bounces. They just completely decimated that core.
It was the perfect ice golem that froze that back-end revenge tower that allowed those super bowlers to get those bounces. So a brilliant use of the ice golem putting in the army as he continues around. Nice totem, and now he's just coasting his way around the edge with another freeze. He's got queen ability still to pop that giant, not popping it yet, but the time is going to be the question mark. With 50 seconds, he should be able to continue to move his way around into that air defense and be okay with a freeze spell and even a stun with that Dragon Duke.
He's more worried about putting the plushie onto his head. He did that with like 70 seconds left in this attack. That Dragon Duke still has his stun ability. The X-Bow, the Tesla can do nothing. Plenty of time to spare. A back-end Baby Dragon for safety, and Yada is going to get it done, and that's why Zeus Esports.
All right, for Zeus, they get in the 3-star. Yada kicks it off there. And
3 stars, and they're going to need some really interesting bases to trip up Zeus Esports. But first, right now, it starts with the offensive, and we have the next player here for God's Warrior coming in with some lightning spells. Let's see if he's going to combine that with a backpack ability, maybe even a giant arrow.
There it is. Like you mentioned, it called it right on the spot with the Duke flying across this space, dropping some lightnings, and we have 10 throwers to use as well. No Eternal Tome on that Warden, just the Life Gem and the Rage Gem. And this Duke will continue to move down south into the 6 o'clock compartment. And he wants to have this Duke not only come from that top side, but also now he's funneling for these throwers, taking out this left side as the log launcher will look to open up towards that town hall.
The Phoenix ability for the Dragon Duke allows him to get a little bit of extra damage, but he is stuck on the best air defense in the game, the Barbarian King, so gets stalled up there. But the throwers look like they have the pathing that he wants. The log launcher is going to open up walls directly to the core of the base. The Barbarian King, the Archer Queen, even with the assistance of a Druid for some extra healing on the right side, clearing all of that and keeping the throwers nice and tight moving into the middle section of the base. But without an Eternal Tome, is there any key defenses to worry about killing his throwers here?
I mean, it's a raised up double Infernos. You have to keep your eye on this. Hopefully they stay out of range, not taking too much damage, but the Monolith is still up, and he has an Overgrowth. Finally now pairs that in to the left side, which also grabs the Revenge Tower and the Spell Tower. As the King's Spiky Ball skips across to the top side, he's still got a handful of spells here, Lex.
He does. A revive, probably for the Dragon Duke, an invis, a totem, a freeze. I was mentioning in their other attack, usually when you're going to revive the Dragon Duke and he goes into a heavy defensive section, you want to pair that with some additional spells. And that's exactly what the freeze maybe could be, because he just invested the totem and the invis for those throwers, and they are hanging on, but the Warden goes down.
I mean, now it's all about waiting for the Queen to slowly make her way up. Still has her ability. It's all about timing here. You can't bring this Duke a lot back alive until this Queen gets closer, when that giant can even tank, and then maybe a super barb can be used on one of the oh, never mind. I was going to say one of the Teslas down south, but it decides to push it off to the far left side. Those throwers still go. There's a freeze now with the revive as the freeze has been deployed.
That is going to help him get through the Revenge Tower. The timing was probably as best as he could without waiting too long, because the throwers distracted and took out the Minion Prince. The Dragon Duke has the HP. The Air Skellies do distract for a couple of seconds, but I think he might have it. Time could be the only issue. Can he go back for the Tesla? Yes, the Dragon Duke goes there first, and he's going to get it with just a handful of seconds to spare. Carbon.
They're delivering a 3-star because God's Warriors, I mean, they had the lowest Gaku. As long as he gets above that 71, it will have the lead.
Yes, he could. Maybe there is something here about God's Warriors that going up against potentially the #1 team in the world currently is just giving them this sort of competitive boost that they need. They really want to shine when it matters. But let's focus on Gaku right now, because he's going in. Again, with this Queen, Monolith Arrow, Zeus Esports are starting to do this in many of their attacks. They really love this opener. Gaku decides to pair it with a Rage spell right away. We've seen some pros just use Invis spells for this sort of opener, but Gaku thinks that the Rage can also help speed things up.
Yeah, with this Queen charging into the bottom compartment, still into the one spitter, that is definitely nice value. You want to remove at least one spitter if you can, if it's there, because Typically, you use an overgrowth with a back-end spitter, but he doesn't have an overgrowth, so he's just looking to grab this one down south right next to the Giga Bomb and goes with another invis. Giga Bomb activates, but the Queen stays alive and even grabbing the multi-inferno just before as he recalls that Queen.
For just a simple little Queen walk, that was great value. Look at this preemptive totem spell to distract the lava launcher. We have seen other pros that will decide to overgrowth the lava launcher immediately right when you're starting the bowler smash, but Gaku doesn't even bring an overgrowth on this attack. Instead, one lava launcher will at least distract it for a few seconds. Hopefully we can get in there, pop a nice Warden ability. Again, that Dragon Duke Barbarian King combo on the flank, just like you mentioned, this is a staple for this attack strategy currently.
Yeah, with that King continuing up top, but unfortunately getting stuck on the wall, the Snakes can jump over and grab that Queen while he rages up right through the core here, and even still has the Warden ability. Now pops it, gonna walk his way through, and what really is so nice when you have a Warden ability like this, you don't have to deal with the defensive Ice Golems, you just walk your way and coast to the backside of this base. But now he's got the Duke, the Queen, the Warden, the Super Bowls all working together into this back compartment with even a handful of abilities still. My goodness, Gaku, this is looking so good.
He still has 4 of his 5 healers alive. This is looking strong. Gaku has not fallen victim to any major traps in this base. The Dragon Duke soaking up most of those Seeking Air Mines. The healers will continue to stay alive. He still has a Dragon Duke ability. He still has an invisibility spell. Time potentially could be the only issue, but not really. It looks like he's going to be able to get this with plenty of time as the Queen's still moving around and doing damage. The back-end Baby Dragon, it's absolutely crushed.
What an attack from Gaku. We had a crushing Super Bowler attack from Yada. Perfected.
Wow, just amazing.
Then you plan because that Warden starts to step through that fire of the lava launcher, and the healers might not go to him, and he gets activated. But we're now moving to a Root Riders here with a couple Valks, super Barbarians. But let's see if Zeus has some bases to stop this attack, as the giant arrows also paired in for this charge, but then paired in with a rocket backpack of the Dragon Duke. Okay, I'm curious to see what is developing in this hit now.
Very interesting. Root Riders, of course, very popular troop from the last 2 years of the esports metas, but this year it hasn't been quite used as much with Town Hall 18, but we still have seen it a few times if you get a really good opener, and this Royal Champion charge so far is getting pretty good value, and he still manages to recall her and keep the Spirit Fox alive.
And there goes the Duke across the core. There's the arrow and removes the lava launcher. So no damage from the lava launcher, as these roots will charge straight into the Revenge Tower and all the way across this base, opposite of that Town Hall. But you got to take the risks. You got to go for the 3 stars when you're going up against a team like Zeus. As now we are pairing in some of the, I think he's dropping some little baby dragons, some other troops down south as he continues through. I mean, it's looking good so far, but out comes the 2 defending Ice Golems and a Furnace. So there goes that poison now on the Furnace.
The pathing looks pretty decent as he's going to work his way down to the bottom and then cut back up toward the Town Hall section. I think the main thing is you want to be able to save that Warden ability until you get into this Rage Tower section, or maybe even a little bit past it. It is fun to see Skywagon being used on ground attacks, but it really is pumping out a lot of troops that can help distract to keep the healers alive. And there goes the Eternal Tome.
Yeah, that was a nice Eternal Tome as well, as he pops in the Royal Champion ability. Look at this. She can not only grab the Super Wizard Tower, she can even grab the multi on the backside. And there is the... I would have thought he might have just not overgrowth just a little bit later, because then the RC could have sniped that multi-target Inferno Tower. But he's got another totem. Tries to distract the Logger. It does work. Turns it around as he's continuing around. Rocket Lude's up top. I mean, he's still pushing. The Duke's alive. I'm liking this.
He's out of spells, but he has managed to keep his healers alive. He still has all 4 heroes are still alive, and their HP are all green. As soon as I say that, the Royal Champion taking a lot of damage, but it is looking strong as he gets through the Super Wizard Tower. The scatter shot, there's not much here that could slow him down.
What a brilliant attack, and took this base apart. And that is an answer. Another 3-star for God's Warriors, and they are starting to put some 2 different times here, but that 171% from God's Warriors, those attacks that is against the meta that you don't see all too often. The bases aren't built for that, so those attacks can be crushing through certain bases. So that is something you have to be keeping your eye on in matches like this. Take those risks, and it paid off. But let's see what Kazuma could do with one of the strongest armies in the game, and that's where these bases are trying to defend a Dragon Rider hit, as this Duke is charging in towards this multi, goes invisible. We do have a defending Queen over there as well. Yes, he does also pair in that Spirit Fox ability, timing that as well to get as much value as possible.
The bonus invis to try to direct the path thing, and it almost worked, but the Dragon Duke is just constantly getting distracted by either Skellies or the Archer Queen there. Where will he go next? Straight to the lava launcher. I mean, it's kind of cool that you don't have to deal with the core, at least the core defense, with the death damage here, but I'm not sure he got all of the funnel he wanted.
I don't think he was planning on getting the lava launcher, especially since that won't do any damage to the Dragon Riders. I think he really wanted that monolith, as that's why he invested in invis towards the right side to help funnel. But then the Dragon Duke had a mind of its own, as he is sending out Lava Hound and Dragon Riders into the side of the monolith. So that is something he definitely wanted down. Let's see how it's going to impact his push through towards this town hall.
Has to pop the Warden ability early to counter that monolith, like you suggested. He definitely wanted it down early. Could have invested a totem spell, decides to go with the Warden ability first. Dark Orb will slow down many key defenses, including that Revenge Tower off to the left, as the Sky Wagon and many other units are making their way over there. He does still have the Overgrowth spell that he can utilize, and the Royal Champion is now in from the northeast to help clear up some of the pathing up there, and maybe more importantly get the air defense.
Does pair in the Overgrowth, which is typically used for that back end spitter, which he does get. But we have the Minion Prince trying to continue towards that Town Hall, so the Town Hall will be secured, so that is not a worry. We have a Hero Revive. He can bring on the Duke. Maybe he's waiting for the Overgrowth to disappear, but a lot of these troops have disappeared here. But since the first attack that came in from God's Warriors was a 71, this is above that, so it means that no matter what, Zeus will have the lead in terms of percentage. But it could be tied if this does not 3-star. And looks like there's nothing really too far left other than this Duke, but that's a lot to get through here.
Has a couple of rocket balloons to take out those smaller defenses in the back. The Duke does have a lot of HP.
No air defense,
I think power-wise, he's going to be good. Question is, could time be an issue? Let's see how fast this Duke can get through without any spell support, and he might lose his rage effect here as the Inferno Baby Dragon gets next to him.
Yeah, but he gets there, 20 seconds left. He's getting the chains, which can clutch up. Hopefully, yeah, there shouldn't be anything else around the edge like a trolled Tesla here. And these are just the final 4 buildings. Come on, get to the chain. There's a Valkyrie, perfectly timed. Takes that down, and the mortar goes down to the clutch minion as well.
But the 3-star is what matters. Doesn't matter if you get...
And against a team like Zeus, but now Roshriel is up. Let's see what she can do with the throwers. Starting to the bottom side of the space. Does have 6 lightning spells, and there goes the Duke. Lightning into the core, taking out this value as these throwers need to continue to grab this air defense and move down south as the Duke try to move behind an Ice Golem, which does freeze that area over there.
The throwers, are we going to have the pathing good? I'm worried about that 1 elixir storage there on the left. Half his throwers might go the wrong way, and I'm afraid they will. Now the question is, which group did the healers stick with? Or maybe even which group did the Warden stick with? Ah, they come back. All right, they have the right mind. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, that Dragon Duke actually helped funnel the throwers back into the attack as he's moving his way into the Gigabomb compartment. The King Queen also down. They're going to look to help funnel these throwers into the core, but need to keep that long shot preoccupied. He tries to drop some troops as he moves through. Drops a couple wall breakers, so the super wall breakers need to open up the wall to get to that town hall, but even has to invest in invis now on the Queen.
That was less than ideal. Normally want that invis for the throwers as needed through the middle of the base. The Queen able to get back up to full health though, thanks to that adjustment, and the throwers are still looking healthy for now, so this very well could still pan out. We're gonna get the town hall. The Overgrowth hiding some of those key defenses in the back, including that Fire Spitter. Still have the revive on the Dragon Duke. and a queen ability as well as 3 super barbarians for the back end. But is it going to be too much? The warden gets way out in front and goes down to the revenge tower.
That is one of the problems of a thrower army, is the throwers have such a long range. The warden actually steps up to get too far ahead, and then he can get targeted, and he typically will go down. And this one, unfortunately, looks like it's going to be just the 2-star. Couldn't push through that core, and Kazuma is going to hold strong. Zeus have those 3 triples, while God's Warriors now have 2 triples, and this one is going to be just under, looks to be 80%, so about 78 here.
Barring any 1-star at the end, Zeus Esports, 1 more triple could really seal the deal here. Nice try from Rocio, but Kazuma's base is going to hold strong. The thrower army can be tricky. It can be very strong when everything goes right, but it's one of those armies where if one thing goes wrong, it can quickly snowball.
Buildings that he is trying to support of those throwers, is just his range will end. Down in the lower bracket, your hopes are not lost. You still have another opportunity, but it's going to be a tough one down there.
Very tough indeed when you drop to the lower bracket right away, but it's not quite over yet. Let's see what Ryuta can do. Maybe God's Warriors are going to have a good trap to help counter Ryuta's attack. We are back to the air army here with the Dragon Duke kicking things off and the Dragon Riders for later. The Spirit Fox paired with the Invis spells. Very common opener now amongst these pros. Going to be able to grab some of these buildings here. Will he just walk along all this outer edge stuff, or is he going to try to funnel a little bit?
Let's see, Air Skellies pop. It looks like, no, the Duke will stay to the edge. Continuing to pull these Air Skellies. Air defense is over here as well. But he does have 5 more invisibility spells to invest. Let's see. I would assume he wants to get that Monolith down.
That would be a good assumption. The Spirit Fox dies early, and the Archer Queen is there, as well as the Air Sweeper that could potentially change the pathing. That Dragon Duke hanging on to dear life. He still has his ability, which should give him a tiny bit more of HP, but now he's chasing the Queen again, and he's out of Invis spells after that.
Oh, he did make it to the Monolith there because of the Queen pulled him in, and no!
Oh.
The death of the Duke does not finish off the Monolith, but watch out, the Builder is also repairing. So he's going to try to pair in the Royal Champion to one-shot it. Down it goes to set up the Dragon Riders down to the bottom side to move into the air defense, into the scatter, and in towards that Town Hall.
Overgrowth could be key here because the Dragon Duke maybe didn't get the best funnel, so the pathing here for the Dragon Riders is pretty wide set. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an early Overgrowth, and there it is. Take off the damage of the Fire Spitter, help shape up the pathing, because the Dark Orb can also slow down many of these defenses.
It does indeed, as the Skywagon's in the course, spawning those baby dragons, those minions as well, with the balloon to pull the traps to protect the Dragon Riders. We do have a defensive Duke. When do we revive the Duke? It doesn't look like he has that to revive his Duke, so they're just going to continue through. I'm always assuming that you're bringing our hero revive because it's been so commonplace nowadays. But we have Rocket Loons that's trying to snipe the back-end air defense, takes that down. But we have a back-end air defense still up near that multi-gear arch tower with the 3 Rocket Loons. Sends in 3 of them straight into the other multi-arch tower. Oh my, with the Minion Prince, but that Minion Prince of the Dark Crown is getting a lot of value, but it looks like he's just getting picked off here.
Distracted by the best air defense in the game, that Barbarian King slowing down the Minion Prince for so long. The freeze wore off, the air defense picked him off, and this one is fizzling out. We are seeing Zeus Esports first fail today, and even though it's high percent, there's at least hope in the back of God's Warriors' mind that they are still in this. They will need to triple their last attack.
They're going to have to triple their last attack, but then hope to get a 1-star from Stars because the percent is heavily favored right now onto Zeus. So that is the difference maker. Zeus is looking really good with not only the triples, but also the Warriors. So this is still above both those percentages. So Zeus still has the lead.
Single meta being one of the best players in the world.
And think about it. Every time you win a match, you move up the prize bracket in terms of the payout. So you earn more and more money every time you win a war. And that is what you have to do. If you have to just get the save 2, go for the save 2, because we've seen it happen before where you need a save 2 and they 1-star. So you don't want that. as we see Freddy coming in with the Dragon Riders and 8 regular dragons. So there goes the Dragon Duke across the core. There's an Earthquake to snipe an air defense to the far right side, and even pairs in that Queen Zero from the top.
3 air defenses already dead, and that air defense at 9 o'clock is on 1 HP as the Dragon backpack ability hit it as well. Lots of normal dragons in this setup, not just Dragon Riders, which is less common in esports mode because those dragons, they just don't have quite as much HP and they tend to die very fast if you're not perfect with your Warden ability, with your spell timings. But here we go, that Eternal Tome has definitely kept most of them alive so far.
But that Ice Hound that flew into the core pulled a bunch of traps, so now there shouldn't be any really traps in the core, so those dragons should be protected. It continues to the backside, but that Overgrowth clipping both of these spitters, and even pairs in a back-end Earthquake to help grab the air defense over there. But he needs to then revive the Duke, which he did. That thing to the edge has one more Overgrowth, probably for exactly the exact same spot to Overgrowth again.
Very nice. That Overgrowth taking out the Revenge Tower out of play for now, as well as the Inferno Tower that could be troublesome for this Queen who's hanging on for dear life with her healer puppet. An extra rocket balloon was actually key there to distract the Expo a little bit longer, and that Queen is still getting value, and he still has a Minion Prince ability.
Oh, that Queen getting very nice value, barely staying alive, grabbing the Air Expo, taking this down. Now he has to move through the defensive rage of the Revenge Tower. The rage activates. He's happy, he's celebrating, and it is a 3-star from Freddy of God's Warrior. So this puts them to, wow, 13 stars, where when we thought about, remember, the last time they played Zeus, they lost a finish in this match, which means that Zeus 2-star ties it, but yet still get a 2-star
matchup against arguably the best team in the world. They get 60% hit rate, stellar performance from God's Warriors, and now we just got to see if the last base they built can save them.
Well, stars, all he needs is a 64% 2-star to win this match. If it's a 99% 1-star, it's not enough. You have to get at least the percent and that 2, as he sends a Duke in towards the Town Hall. That is definitely the safest option to secure at least the first star, as this Duke continues through the long shot and not even trying to time that Spirit Fox timing here, just continuing to get these chains under the invis.
Spirit Fox did end up going down. I think she got hit by some initial traps, low on HP. He's so good with these invis spells because it can be really tricky when you send your Duke right toward a couple of enemy heroes and the Town Hall Guardian, because you try to invis your Duke but not invis the Guardian, but they're walking around at the same time. But somehow Stars seems to nail those invis perfectly. Look at this giant arrow from the right side of the base, taking out some of those back-end air defenses.
And without the Warden ability going through, the Dragon Riders are being protected, trying to be healed back up as he needs them push through the one sweeper. Does have an Overgrowth with a backside spitter, but not deploying it just yet, as he did remove the furnace in the core of this base, but he's past it. He's trying to get up to that 64%. That is the mark that he needs to get. With a hero revive, maybe for the Duke, he's still waiting. And there's the Overgrowth. Maybe revive the Duke now so it can fly through, and there it is. The Duke comes back as the Queen is staying on the edge, can grab a bunch of buildings down there, and this will definitely be enough for stars here.
That is going to be enough percent. It will be Zeus Esports moving on to the upper bracket semifinals. God's Warriors are not out of this tournament yet. We will see them play again later today in the lower bracket, but can Stars get the triple? He has one more totem spell on standby. The Archer Queen still continuing to get all the value on the outer edge of the base, helping to keep the main air units inside, tightly funneled through the core. This looks good. Carbon, I think Zeus are going to be able to get a 14-star performance.
Man, to think that your God's Warriors, you put up 13 stars against Zeus, you're thinking, oh, I would take that any day of the week. But unfortunately, Zeus puts up a 14-star performance, and Zeus even put up a perfect war last month in the monthly final, so you know they are capable of doing it. Stellar performance. Honestly, both teams performing better than expected.